ครับ
Sawadee everyone. Thank you so much for coming today and for joining us. My name is Siriton, or you can call me Ern. So I was very excited today to be a host of these sessions. So today we're gonna talking about rodent in Thailand growing internationally, and we are going to explore inspiring journeys of a Thai landscape architectures and talking about her skill global from Bangkok to UK. So our guest today is Ms.Sarocha Devapalin at Thailand Landscape Architectures, currently working with BDP, one of the leading international design firm. So today she will bring the journeys and challenges and lessons and inspired from that building careers abroad, especially for those who want to going to internationally in terms of working and education as well.
Thanks for the introduction. My name is Sarocha and my nickname is Bang, so everyone can call me Bang, that's okay. So I am currently a senior chartered landscape architect working at BDP, and that's my full-time job. And for the background, I did my master degree in University of Greenwich in London. And before that, I was some classmate. I did my bachelor's degree in Chulalongkorn University. So all my background is about landscape architecture. And I also have my kind of side job. So I am doing my own projects, the landscape project in the UK as well. So it's kind of just teeny tiny ones. And I also have my YouTube channel, which is I started like 2 years ago. So I'm talking about working or living in the UK. So I'll give a lot of information about whoever interested in living or working or studying in the UK. So that's my life.
So first I want to ask about how did you get into the landscape architectures and why do you choose this career path?
In the UK?
In terms of landscape architectures, just the landscape thing.
Well, I have to bring back my memory a little bit because back to my high school, I was interested in architecture mainly. And then, to get into the university in Thailand, you have to study a little bit more than you do in the normal school. You have to study extra time, outside of the school time. So, and back then I started to understand the architecture more and more. And I was more interested into landscape more than the building itself. That's why I chose to pick the Chulalongkorn University to do the landscape architecture course.
And let's start from the beginning first about what makes you resign to pursue your master degree in UK?
Right. Okay. I think my case is, I don't know, it's gonna be similar to anyone, but back then I didn't want to do master degree. I want to finish my bachelor's degree and go straight to work. But back then it wasn't that easy if you want to work in the UK without master degree and you had zero experience. So basically back then I finished my bachelor's degree. I haven't started working just yet. I have zero experience and I really wanted to go to the UK to work, so it's almost impossible. That's why after applying for a few jobs, talking to people, and then I realized that, okay, maybe one of the ways that I can do to be able to work in the UK, I had to do master degree. It wasn't a guarantee, but it's one of the way. So if you want to give a try, then let's try. So that's why I started to prepare to do my master degree in the UK.
I haven't known before that we need to have a master degree in UK.
You don't really need to, but back then because I had no experience at all, I was more than 10 years younger than now, so I I had nothing to sell. I don't have anything to sell to people in the UK, so I think master is one of the way.
Yeah. It sounds like you have to do learning a lot in UK.
Of course. Yeah.
So once that really interesting story, now once you have made that decisions, how did you go about the preparing for it? What was the applications process? Was tough or not, the process during of it, building the portfolio to apply or practice for the IELTS or the English skills, and even planning about the financials?
Yeah, everything you mentioned, they are very important because finance very important because you have to prepare a lot of money for the tuition fee and also for the living cost in the UK. That's quite a lot. And portfolio, I think that's the most important thing because you it's the only thing that you can show your skill and your experience. So I work hard on that quite a lot. And the last thing was about the IELTS. I think I did a few IELTS tests. I was trying to do my best and just be able to pass. When you go to the UK, everything completely different. Like even you are very good with the IELTS test, your English is perfect, which is I wasn't. But if it's very perfect for you, but when you go to the UK and you speak to people, that is kind of, you have to learn it again.
Yeah, because like I've heard before that like UK have like the British accent that was like really hard to understanding and like hard to pronunciations as well.
Yeah,
Does
it's very depends because British accent, they have quite a lot of British accent, different region in the UK, different part of the UK, they have different accents as well. But that's one of the thing. I mean, just go back to the question, IELTS test is important, but just to let you know, just make it pass and that's it. Don't be too worried about it.
Because like many of students like were very worried about like the scores of like the English and need to like want to like very fix their grammar before like going to like a board because like they stretch about like the English skill.
Yeah. I think Thai people we are very good at English, but when it comes to speak in front of people, maybe we have to kind of develop and improve a little bit. But I think this day maybe is already okay. Yeah, but for the question you just asked, I think financial back then in my case, because I was young, I didn't have any saving, if I'm honest. I just asked my family, so I got support from my family for the tuition fee and for the living cost. And the portfolio, that's the only thing that I can focus on. So I work very hard on it. Like I mentioned that I didn't have that much experience. Back then, I know that I really want to go to the UK. I want to do my master. So I took a gap year after I finished my bachelor's degree. So I did a little bit of a few things. I helped my family with some work. I helped our teacher to do the books for her, Ajahn Jamturi. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I helped her with the book a little bit, and then I helped with one person to do landscape work. So it was kind of a little bit of everything. That's why I didn't have like a proper job. So I need to work very hard on the portfolio. That's why.
It's quite tough, like
Yeah.
the story. Yeah. So I have heard about like it's very tough during like doing the portfolio. Does like the requirement of the portfolios? Can you explain it about it, like with the work or like type of work that they want?
I think it would be, yeah, it depends. If people who already have experience, like real world experience, I think you just put the real world, the real job that has already built on your portfolio. That's perfect because people, I think people who look into your portfolio, they like to see the real world. The real work, not just the work that you did from study or the experiments or something like that. So let's put those one. But for some people who didn't have any experience like me back then, so I would suggest just put anything you can. Just that's all you have. Yeah. But I think because I have seen lots of portfolios from many students, I think Thai students, they do very well with portfolio, so don't worry about it. I think it's we are very okay.
It's fine already.
Yeah.
So what is your like some advice would you give them from like based on your own experience, like about like preparing stuff
Sorry,
like
what's the question?
for like people that interesting in want to study abroad, like the advice?
I think there's no right or wrong, and if you have a passion that you want to go for study abroad, then just do it. Because some people would say like, oh, you need to have a few experience in Thailand first, and then you have think a little bit about you really want to do your master or you don't really want to do. So you have to think a lot. But for me, if you have passion, just go for it. Because there is no right or wrong. And I think the best time to do master degree is when you have passion. I think, yeah.
So it doesn't that depends on your age, but depends on your passions.
Yeah, when I was younger, I thought that let's do it earlier than later, maybe better. But I have seen lots of people, they have worked for 10 years and then they decided to do the master degree. And I think that's still okay.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to give like a definite answer because
like it doesn't have like the ratios or like the exactly word, because like it doesn't have like the time limit of time to study.
Yeah, sure. Because when I did my master, I was quite young in the class. There were people who were like 40 years old, 45 years old, and then they have done a lot of work already, and they want to shift their career. They want to do something else. They want to study and learn something more. So it's really depends.
Yeah, because I have heard a lot that like London people like was like really into like working first and then study later. Like some of them.
Yeah.
And how would you comparing these terms to of like teaching in Thai and in UK?
From my own experience, I think teaching in Thailand is kind of we have very well structured. Like all the teacher, we have a very clear syllabus of what we are going to teach today and what we are going to do, what we are going to expect for the result of the course, like what the final project gonna look like. I think that's good in a way. There's no good or bad, but somehow it's kind of restrict the student to think a little bit beyond the boundary, I would say. So sometimes you have to be. I think we in Thailand maybe we have less discussion in the class, but we have more like structure. Like lecture, like okay, today we're gonna talk about this, and then we need to you need to finish the assignment by this time, blah blah blah. But comparing to the UK, it's more discussion and talking. I don't know, maybe people that they just talk a lot. They just sometimes the teacher didn't prepare anything, just pick one topic, and then for the whole 2 hours, people just keep talking, give the opinions, and I wasn't quite sure what I get it from that 2 hours, but it's fun. And I think it's more, it brings the student to pay attention to the class. And sometimes you don't really need to learn from the teacher. You learn from your classmates sometimes. And everyone's opinion is, they like to listen to everyone. And that's okay. I mean, learning style is quite different. And as well as the final project, because I don't know, that's just maybe it's just my experience. The course that I did in University of Greenwich, where I did my master, the final project doesn't need to be a book, it doesn't need to be a report. Some people just did like a leaflet. Some people they did just a box. Some people did a model. So it's really there's quite open, because I think they probably care about the process of thinking more than the result.
So like does like in UK we need to like updating the process every week, like in Thailand? Like I think like in Thailand we need to like doing the assignments and like keep like achieve the goal and like need to like send assignment every week. So that's it different from UK in this part.
Send the assignment. I think if there is an assignment, they kind of expect you to finish it. But I mean, I don't know. I think in the UK they're less straightforward about learning and studying, and the assignment it wasn't quite clear structure. It's quite open in the way. So I think it's not that much different in terms of the assignment every week. But I mean, it's
Oh, understanding. And like does like you have any culture shock or memorable adjustments for like experience in UK?
I think language was one of the first things. It's not a culture shock, but it's something I had to adjust a lot. It's not the language, but it's kind of how we speak. Because in Thailand, when we start learning or we get into the new class, we tend to be quite quiet, to get to know each other. Like might take some time to be like comfortable to talk to everyone. But in the UK, people will like keep talking, like they are
like share opinion all the time.
Yeah, and also like my classmate and my teacher, they like everyone to give opinion and share and have a say. They just don't like everyone to be quiet. And most of the time I was so quiet because everyone talk everything, and that's already I can't think of anything more than what everyone have said. But just say it, say whatever, repeat something is okay. They just want to make sure that you are okay, and yeah, just say it. There's no right or wrong. That's the first thing that I had to adjust quite a lot.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice because like it makes students doesn't like think that their opinion always wrong, because like sometimes it's okay to be wrong as well, and maybe like some of Thai students are like very scared of like being wrong, so that's fine to being wrong in UK. I guess so.
Yeah, but you should know when you are wrong. Say sorry. That's it. that's totally fine.
Yeah, that's fine. If
yeah.
wrong, you need sorry.
Yeah.
So like I really want to like know about like where there any part of UK educations that really challenging your way of thinking the design, like yeah.
I think for me, when I was studying in Thailand, I liked to get my result or my project or my design to be like perfect, excellent, looking good. But I think in UK they care more about the process. And then during the process, before you get to the final result, they kind of keep ask you very deep question. I'm not saying that the teacher in Thailand, they don't really ask the deep question, but I think in the UK they really care about you are really understand what you are doing and ask me deeper and deeper. It's not just about the concept of the work, but it's more about sometimes it went outside like politics and ecology, something like a little bit further away from your focus. But it's it makes your thinking a little bit further as well, and that's why I have it's quite challenging for me, because every time before presenting I need to question myself that did I really understand what I am doing, like, and then I can be confident to say stuff.
So I guess like during the presents, like you need to know all of the details and like before presenting.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, just made it up quickly.
Then
you have to figure it out. Yeah.
So like let's moving to from educations to the big step to like starting about the careers. So was it difficult to land your first job in UK?
Yeah, it was tough. It was not easy, because I think back then there were two. I think the reasons still apply. The same reasons still apply. There were two things that I need to be really concerned. The first thing was about my experience, that I didn't have that much experience because I was quite young. And the second thing is about visa. And I think the most challenging thing was about visa. And this day, the most important thing is still visa. Because to get the working visa in the UK, there will be more process and you have to prove a lot. And that's the most challenging thing, which you can't really control. Your skill, your experience, your portfolio, the interview, you can control it, but the visa you can't really control. So back then I worked very hard on my portfolio, and I prepare myself quite okay, I guess. So I just prepare the portfolio to my best, and then went for an interview quite a few times before I get the first job. But the visa stuff, I just want to share my experience. So I did apply quite a lot of jobs after I graduated, and then I got 4 refills, and that's because of the visa. Because I think they probably like me already, but when it comes to the visa stuff, they can't really provide, or they don't want to go to the process. Some offices in the UK, they don't really have the sponsorship to provide the working visa to the candidates. And some office, they have the sponsorship, but they have kind of a limited quota, so they have to give to the right one. So maybe I not the right one back then. So it's always the visa stuff. And the first job that I got, it was not easy because they didn't have the sponsorship in their office as well, but it's kind of a pain point for that office as well, because they experience with this situation with so many candidates. Like they like the candidates, but they couldn't provide the sponsorship. So when it's come to my case, they were like, okay, we're not gonna have this problem again. then let's register the office to be able to do the sponsorship. So I was quite lucky back then because they were like, okay, let's do it now. And then they start the process of registration for their office, but it's kind of time consuming. It took a few months. And then after a few months, when they finish the registration for their office, then it's time for me to do the working visa. It's very long process.
Yeah, I think like the visa thing was like very struggle during that because like can I ask questions like you need to change the visa from the student to like worker as well?
Yes. Yeah, because when you go there as a student, you got student visa, and then when you got a job, you have to switch from student to the working visa, and you can't really live in the UK without any type of visa, right? And then back then, my student visa is running out, so I need to be really quickly to get a job to be able to like match perfectly. That's the difficult part.
Or does it mean like you need to like finding a job while you have like visa student?
Yeah, that's back to what I explained earlier about why I have to go to the UK to do my master. Because once I'm in the country, I have more opportunity. I have student visa. It's much better than I am no one in Thailand.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So like, what about like what are UK employees really looking for the new landscape architectures graduated?
Okay, for graduates, I think if the employers if they are looking to hire someone, they probably don't really expect something much different from different graduates, because graduates, they basically don't really have that much experience. But I think the right candidate, they should have a good attitude, good personality. I mean, when you talk to someone who are graduates, the employers, they're not gonna give a difficult or challenging task for them to do, but they kind of expect the graduates to be able to collaborate within the team. They should be good at teamwork.
Working in team.
Yeah, and also have a good personality. They should be a good learners. I think that's the most important thing, and that's what you can show in the interview.
So that's like in when you were like finding a job, the interview will be like face to face or like online.
I think back then it's always face to face, but I believe these days they probably accept kind of like online first as a first interview. But the final interview, I think they probably expect to do face to face.
Yeah, because like I'm curious about it because like nowadays we have like many of the employees that want to interview in like online because it's easier and like hand interview a lot of people in a amount of time. So let's dive into your personal work. Yeah, I will have a lot of questions for today. Okay, so what kind of project have you worked on so far? And we heard that it quite a lot, and from public space and to heritage projects and even work in other countries.
Right. Okay, so this question, I think most of the work that you mentioned, I did with the office that I work for full time. So basically, I changed the office twice. So I have been working in different 3 offices in the UK, and the type of the project, they are quite mixed. I have done lots of residential, commercial landscape. I have done lots of public realm, and also in the very beginning, I did a little bit of hotel in Middle East, and also my very first office in the UK. I also had an opportunity to do like a heritage site as well, because the founder of the office, he was the UK, the principal UK heritage, whatever, I can't remember. Like he's kind of very higher up level in the UK for the UK heritage side. That's why we got a lot of projects. That's kind of thing. But the variety of the project that I mentioned or you mentioned is kind of that's what I have done in the office. But I also have my personal work that I have been doing in the UK as well, but that's always residential and a little bit of hospital.
Yeah, and how do you balance like working with office and like working on your personal projects as well? Like, how do you balance like work-life balance with that? Because like
it's not very balanced right now. I don't know how to do that, so I need to do better. So that's why I'm here today to do. I am having 2 months break right now because I had a feeling that I am doing a little bit of everything. I have 5 days full-time job. I also have my own job. I have been doing a little bit of YouTube channel, and then I couldn't balance myself very well. That's why I'm taking 2 months break to stop my full-time work, and then I can focus a little bit on my own and see maybe when I'm in Thailand I can have more idea, and maybe if any opportunity comes, then you know you never know.
yeah, because like when I first like heard that you're doing office and also have your personal worker and also like have your channel, and I was like, how can she like balance like work and life and like
I have to be honest, I couldn't balance it. I'm not doing good, but it's okay. I think taking a break would help, and I think in the future I have to reduce my time in the office. And yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, that's quite nice to hear that. Yeah. And also, like, what would you say is the biggest professional lessons you have learned from working internationally?
The biggest lesson, I think you have to say it. Whatever you want, say it. Without saying, people don't know what you really want. They would assume that you are okay. If you have any problems, say it. If you have any questions, ask it. And that's okay to ask, because they like people to speak up. If you are quiet, they probably don't know what do you think, or they assume that you are okay. And the other thing, I think you should listen more. I mentioned a lot that you need to speak up, but don't forget to listen. I think sometimes listening is very important, and yeah, it helps a lot. And again, last thing, I think it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I really like when people who are higher up than me, and then they did something wrong and they just say sorry, and then no one really, whatever level you are, you can do something wrong, and that's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And like I think like it will be better to like make more communications during the work. It will help like work easily with your team as well, with yourself as well as too.
Yeah. No one is perfect. That's okay.
Yeah. So I want to know like the comparing from your perspective, how does landscape architectures in UK was different in Thailand?
I think the main different thing would be the process of planning. I believe. I think that in the UK we are very serious about planning application. When I'm saying about planning application, it's ขออนุญาต คือขออนุญาต is very สับสนภาษา planning application is very important in the UK. We have to go through a long process, especially a huge new development. So it's a must. Everyone have to understand, and no one can avoid. It's something you have to do. And because the policy is out there, the regulation is out there, and then there's so many things that you have to follow, you can't really avoid. And comparing to Thailand, I mean, I think for landscape project, maybe we concerned about, we have to do EIA, I guess, but in terms of planning application, it's not really strong.
This is one full package with the architecture.
Yeah, so it's always, I don't think we consider about that enough in Thailand for landscape projects, but yeah, in the UK it's a big thing. That's the main difference. But in terms of the type of the project, I think it's very subjective. So it's okay, and yeah.
Yeah. And also like does the design of landscape in Thailand and landscape in UK was like different, or like it depends?
What's the question again?
The design.
No, but
I would say in Thailand we are doing good in terms of the design, but when it comes to the regulation or when it comes to not functional, but when it's come to I mean in terms of make something nice or make something functional, make something meaningful, I think we are doing good. But at the background, I'm not really sure if we have already concerned about the ecology. Have we already concerned about the climate change? Have we already concerned about the green space that much? Because there wasn't enough regulation or policy. I might be wrong, I have to say, but in the UK we are really strict about
Yeah,
that.
I have heard that like in UK was really strict about like the green space, like the trees and something like that.
Yeah, but the down point of being really strict is that it's restrict the design because so many regulations. So I don't know what should I do. Like we can't do this, we can't do that, and then what can we design? At the end, it's end up being something boring landscape.
So that's the downside.
Yeah. So like from like do you notice like any difference of like the difference how this space value use people like in UK to Thailand, like how like the workers work in like terms of Thailand and UK that you have heard about, like know about it, or like have you ever like working to like landscape in Thailand, like can you comparing about like the working structure, like process of doing working,
or the process of working in Thailand and in the UK. I'm not the right person to ask this question because I had like very small experience in Thailand. But if I have to answer this question, so I think in the UK I believe it's gonna be similar. I think it should be similar.
So about like I want to know more about like the climate change and like the social behavior that influence the design process both of like the countries.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Thailand what do we have, but in the UK, because the policy is out there and the data that we have has been made the policy, and when we have the policy, everyone have to follow the policy because it's out there and you have to get approval. So that's why even the landscape architects or the architects or the clients, the developers, if they really don't want to follow, but they have to because they have to get passed, they have to get stamps. That's why the new policy about the climate change, the ecology or whatever that we are really concerned these days. Is there. So all the new project in the UK, we have to be able to pass that to be able to build the new development. So that's
it have like a lot of like the requirements of like making the design.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit, I would say as a designer, it's a little bit annoying that, oh my God, the new policy come in, and then it's really but it's good overall because it has already proved that if you be able to achieve that, it's good for the local people, it's good for the ecology, it's good for the climate, and then it's produce a new ecosystem. It's already a proof that if you achieve it, then you're not just build for the sake of the money for the developer, but then what you give back to the community. I think that's very important.
Yeah, but maybe it's a little bit hard to like design with like a lot of requirements as well.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's doable.
Yeah. So let's now I want to touch something that many young professionals like curious about becoming the landscape architectures. Why did you decide to pursue the chartership?
Okay, so because when I started my career in the UK, everyone in the office keep talking about chartership, and I was like, what do I have to do one? If it's just the exam, I would do it, read a book, and then go for an exam. But then when I started to understand that what it actually is, I was like, oh my God, it's like another master degree, it's another another degree to me. Like it's not just about the exam. The exam would happen at the very end, but it's more about process. What we call is P2C, pathway to chartership. So people call it as a nickname P2C, P2C. So when we started, when I started to, okay, I'm going to do it because everyone keep talking about it, and then it's very important in the UK because when you learn, when you start the process of P2C, you learn everything in the UK system in terms of regulation, law, planning application, the contract, working on site in the UK, and the relationship with the client, and everything, the whole process from 0 to the end. From 0 to 10, you know everything. So it's not, my own reason was that it's not just because of I really want to get the title, but after I finished the whole process, I really learned something. And that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And it's super time consuming. It took me three years. Yeah, it's like another master. I'm telling you, it's true.
Like you learn master degree and you're also learning in like 3 years more.
Yes, so I finished my master, I start my career, I have full-time job, and in the same time you have full-time job, you have to do chartership at the same time. You should get a job in the UK first to be able to pursue the chartership. So the P2C would start after you get a job because you need to have a mentor to be someone who give advice to you. And this person will go together with you from the beginning to the end. Yeah,
It's a long study.
Yeah, that's a long study. And go back to your question. That's why I was like, okay, I think it's worth it to do it because it's another door that open for me. When you have the title or when you know something more, you will be more confident to say some stuff. You probably you will be in a better position to advise the client, or you have your employer will be happy about that because you know something you should. And especially because for the past 6-7 years I only work in the UK project, so it's really benefit of me having a chartership.
So how has getting chartership or change your career path as well?
It's changed because yes, when you get the title, you get promotion, and then you have more confidence. I think it helps with everything for the career, but I don't want to talk much about the title, but in terms of the knowledge you get, it helps you to understand day-to-day work more, like you know what you are really doing and why this person make this decision, why another person don't really agree with this person, why the client have this opinion, why my boss think this way, why I am doing this, why it has take so long, why you get all the answer when you understand the process. When you have the chartership, then you understand what we are doing.
Structure, yeah, understand more structures of like UK system, yeah. And like, so what are you doing now? Like, what are you working right now? Like, we know that you are working at like BDP, but you also seem to have other creative ideas. So, what are you planning to doing right now?
I think I have already mentioned about that. Apart from my full-time job, I also have my landscape jobs, like tiny ones in the UK as well, and the YouTube channel. Check it out. It's called Bangji Tea Break. So we talk about living in the UK, studying or working, or what you should know, what you should prepare. So it's really informative. Yeah. Hopefully it's gonna be helpful if someone wanted to, go to the UK. It doesn't matter like you want to go to traveling, you want to go for studying, or you want to go for working. I think somehow it's gonna be some useful information there. And talking about chartership, I am now a mentor of one girl in my previous office, but that's for free. Being a mentor is a free thing that you should do. I can't really avoid if someone when you pass the chartership for more than 18 months, then you will be able to be a mentor. If someone asks you, you have to be a mentor.
Like
And-
you being like the teachers, like something like that.
Yeah, it's not
Not
really
like-
a teacher, but it's kind of someone who always give the advice for this person, and you have to help that person to go to the exam. That's kind of the process together. But that's kind of a volunteer thing that people who are already chartered, they can't really avoid, and we always happy to do that because we know what we struggled before. We know how difficult it was. So when we saw someone really like to do the same thing, I think everyone always
Want to
happy to help. And,
Yeah.
and yeah.
That sounds nice. Like that,
Yeah.
like people want to like help other people because like they have like the terms of structures in struggle in like the same terms of it. Yeah, it sounds very great. And like, is there any excited projects you are currently involved with?
Yeah, I can talk about the project in the office that I just finished the stage 4. It was the project. It's a commercial project in the middle of London. I don't know if any of you have been in London. It's kind of, if you know Sky Garden,
Sky Garden.
the podium or rooftop garden, which is kind of, anyway, it's kind of center of London, and the site is just next to the Sky Garden, and the site itself was the old building that they demolished, and they are now building the new high-rise building together with the public realm on the ground floor. So basically, the office we have been doing the public realm stuff and also 2 podiums as well. And the interesting thing of this project is the public realm, because we have the existing church tower in the middle of the site, and it is listed element as well, so we can't really touch it, but we have to design the landscape to make it work together. And it's very high-end project. It's a money project, so it's fun when you get money to design.
But like I think like it sounds nice, like very interesting to like know about that. But I didn't heard about that before. But maybe after these sessions, I will go check to your work because like it sounds very like.
Yeah, I think it's already on site right now, and yeah. But apart from that project, I have done a lot of residential projects. But I don't know if you know the developer called Berkeley Homes. I think they are do a lot of marketing in Asia right now. Yeah, they are big developer in the UK. Yeah, my previous office we did quite a lot of work for them. So we did the residential for them.
Sound nice. So I think like we going to straightforward and then look ahead. So I want to know like what was like bring you back to Thailand?
I want to take a
To
break.
Want to take a break.
I think my life was too busy, and I was like, okay, let's have a break. The main reason is that because I have been in the UK. I think this year in July would be 10 years. Including I'm quite old, sorry. So I was like, I never have like a proper break. It's always holidays, and then when you have holidays, you go somewhere, you go traveling. Not always go back to Thailand. Maybe just 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum. But I never have like a proper break that I stop thinking about work. So that's why my husband and I we decide to let's do it this year when we are super busy, and let's do it.
Yeah, because like you sound very busy before. Like take a break.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go back to London in July, so I'm gonna go
Busy
back
again.
Yeah.
So like, what are your long-term personal and professional goals?
Long-term professional. Oh wow. Okay. I would like to be able to stay in 2 countries equally. How possible is that? I don't know yet. But yeah, yeah, so many things to think about. Like because if you really want to have full-time job, it's kind of almost impossible to stay equally in two countries. And but if I completely give up with my full-time job and do everything by myself, maybe it's more flexible. But because for me, I'm the person who I am really concerned about trying to do some new things or change or make a big decision. I like to be very secure before making a big decision, like moving to stay in Thailand more, or it's but yeah, just to answer your question, my goal is to be able to stay in Thailand more, let's say, and be able to have more free time to do more of my own job. And that's it.
So like I would really want to know, like, does it hard to like find the like Thai food or like Thai things in UK? It's like it's hard for like change your lifestyle.
Well, these days it's not hard anymore, especially because I live in London. London, we have everyone from everywhere around the world. And this day, Thai restaurant, I love this question. It's very out of topic, but I love it. So we have lots of Thai restaurants in London, and every year we have at least three new Thai restaurants. I don't know why, but it's become more and more popular maybe. And in the past, let's say like 10 years or 8 years ago, it was a bit hard to find the good ones, but these days lots of good ones, especially in London. It's not that hard. Yeah, it's not that hard.
I have heard before, like in London was like have a lot of like Thai restaurant nowadays. Yeah. So does it taste like the same in Thai? Like,
can you believe it? Some of them are better better than Thailand. Yeah, but the price is a little bit high as well. So you have to be,
because like the ingredient have a lot of tax as well, so it's
maybe.
more
I think
expensive.
in terms of the food, Thai people, we are doing very good, like super good.
Yeah, and next one I'm gonna like going back to the topic. So, how do you see your role in shaping the futures of landscape architectures, both international and here in Thailand?
I don't know what I can do, but I think I think I would like to make everyone have I think landscape architecture should be more accessible. That's what I'm trying to say. Not everyone understands what we are doing, and not everyone understands what landscape architecture is. And if I can in the future, I think I can, hopefully I could be in the position where I can help with that. Because I think for us as a landscape architects or people who work in the architectural field, we understand what landscape architecture is, but it's not always easy to explain. I just talked with some yesterday, and it's not always easy to explain, but can you believe that is such an important career, and it's not just overlap space from architecture, and it's we can do something meaningful, but we need to have a clear understanding and what it is, and make it more accessible, that people who work in a different career can understand what it is. And I don't know what I can do, but I think I probably can do something with that.
Yeah, because like first I didn't know about like the landscape architecture that much, because like I know that we have interior design, we have architecture design, but I didn't know about the landscape because like it doesn't have much explain it about it, and like doesn't have anyone tell about the knowledge of it, and also like the people that was applied in that course quite a little, so it doesn't have a lot of people to like explain it what is landscape was like as well. Yeah, I think maybe like we need to like more like talking about the landscape more, because like I think it's very interesting about it.
So it's come to one question that I would like to ask. Can you give us like the definition what is landscape architecture, like from your decades experience?
Oh my God, you need, please edit a little bit to help me look better. So I think landscape architecture is all the exterior space that people can enjoy. Is not just the nature, but it's also the built environment. It's not just the park, but it's also the square, the plaza, everything man-made, everything that we. Can I just stop here? everything can be landscape. It's very difficult question, I would say, because it's not just exterior. If you think about it, landscape can be interior as well, but it's kind of a space in between the building, a space in between the space, a space between the road, a space in between of everything. Okay, you can cut it. Just that's it.
I know it's hard too because
Yeah.
like many times I asking like seniors like what is landscape, like they explain it, but like sometimes I'm still confusing like what is truly.
And I make it more confusing. Because you probably think about, okay, if you think about the housing project, the landscape would be the footpath and the park in the middle, the swimming pool, something like that. If you think about the hotel, landscape could be the parking space or the garden on the ground floor and rooftop and everything like that. But I think landscape architecture is more than that. For example, just a gap between two buildings can be landscape.
as well.
At the corner between two buildings can be landscape as well. And just teeny tiny corner pocket space can be landscape. And everything that you like, if everything completely nature is also landscape.
Yeah.
You see, I didn't do it well.
I think it's quite well because like I'm understanding more because like first I thought that the landscape was like just the design that's based on outside and like about like doing a park or like something like that. I didn't know that it was like a between a little space can be landscape as well. Yeah. So yeah, it helped answering quite well.
Thanks for saying that.
So what? Let's start with next one will be what sort of persons that you think is suitable to study landscape architectures and what sort of work can student expect to do in the personal field?
Sorry,
Like-
the first question again.
Like what sorts of persons is suitable to study landscape, like type of the persons?
Wow. I think if you like it, give a try. Because I was thinking about myself back then. I wasn't really know about landscape architecture at all. Because I know architecture, I know interior, and I was thinking between these two. And then when I learn more and more and understand landscape architecture, that there's something like this out there, and it's more freedom for me. So I was like, okay, I really like it. If you think it's right, just try. If it didn't work, then just give up, do something else. I don't want to give a definition of what type of person who is suitable to do landscape because, for example, Som and I, we are different personality, I believe, but we both kind of doing the same thing. I think it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like we can go try it. So if it doesn't work, just like find a new one. Yeah.
I think, sorry, just want to add it up. I think these days some young people or students, they try to like achieve or success everything quite quick. But I think in our career, like architects or landscape architects or everyone who is the designer, something takes time. I think you just give yourself time to learn and understand yourself. If you really like it, you don't really need to success that quick. It's okay to take time. Just yeah. Everything takes time.
That was really like touching feeling because like nowadays like the younger people was like really want to be like success before like 20, before like 22, before like graduated. So it very pressures in my generations. So that's quite like really
Yeah, I think because these days we have social media and everything like this, and people like we can get money easily being TikTokers or being a YouTubers. So they earn money a lot. But if you are really believe in what you are doing, like we are doing something meaningful and we have a passion about it, then just stay with that for some time, and one day it's gonna be, your day.
Yeah, thank you. So, like, let's start with the next thing. We're gonna be the questions sessions. So, if anyone want to asking Phi Peng, you can also like asking her as well.
Quiet.
I have one. So they always say that in Europe they're ahead of time, ahead of us in Thailand maybe. From your experience working in the UK, especially in the landscape field, how would you say Thailand's trend will shift in landscape? Is there more opportunities in Thailand for landscape, or what would you recommend for anyone who's looking to attend this career path?
I think these days there is not much different right now, and if you want to, I think these days around the world, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, being a landscape in Thailand or being a landscape in the UK, if you want to go to the UK, I think people, because I think it's not going to be that challenging anymore. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, sort of, but like, I want to know, like, is there more room for expansion for landscape in Thailand? Like, because you've been working in the UK for a while, you probably see things that aren't here yet.
Oh, I see what you mean. I think in terms of landscape, I think we are doing good. For the designer part, we are doing very well, and some project is very famous, and some of my colleagues there, we know those projects. But the thing is that I think in Thailand we need support from government a little bit more, because comparing to Europe or the UK, lots of nice or good projects, that's the funding always come from the government, and go back to the planning process, because everything in the system is really help you to develop a good project. Like when you get the project, let's say you get the government project, the government will help you in the way, and we have the planning system as well. So it's kind of everyone work together on the same project. So everyone is a teamwork. But in Thailand, if you don't really have support from the government, so the good projects always will be from the developers only. The good project will be always the project that maybe not served to everyone. It's not a public space, it's not a park, it's always hotel, resorts, or something like that. And I heard that these days, lots of offices in Thailand, they got lots of work internationally. Maybe that's the reason why there's not enough work in Thailand. Maybe the government side will have to support more, and that helps the public space in Thailand as well. I think that's kind of, yeah.
So can you examples one of the landscape that you're really excited in Thailand nowadays, like the design, some of the design?
Not very sure, but I don't know. Every time, because I worked there for some time, and to me, in terms of the design, it's a little bit boring, because we have so many regulations, we have so many policy, and it's kind of really restrict us to do this and that. But every time when go back to Thailand and see everyone's work in Thailand, it's all amazing, and
because talk about the landscape in Thailand, I really see that it was motivate forward, because for example, the one Bangkok, the space that was the park, I think it was really nice that they connect the public space with the history of that space as well, because they base on something about the history and design it from it.
Yeah, I just went there the other day, I think probably 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was nice project for the landscape, but it was raining, so I didn't walk that much. But it was nice project, and looking from the street, looking from outside, is always they have elevated landscape. I don't know how it works, but it's nice. We have lots of nice projects, but I think I would probably like looking for more public project that help from the government. I guess so many, because when we drive along the the street, the road, and everywhere, I see a lot of waste space, and some of them they were huge. We can do so many things in those spaces. In the UK, little tiny corner, like 5 meters by 5 meters, they can do so many things, and it's kind of. I think we really need to get some support to be able to like bring life back from those waste area. I think.
If Thai private landscape project is good already, maybe better than the UK, why would the government need to support? Because it's already good. That's what it's.
That's for the private projects. But if we want to, because what I am looking for is that all the public space, like public park or public plaza in Thailand, I don't think we have that enough in Thailand. When you really pay attention or really focus on something very serious, sometimes you get nothing. But sometimes you just go traveling, be relaxed, talk to people, you probably learn something from someone. I think that's, yeah.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
So like the newest invention is the artificial intelligence. So according to you, is it like a threat to us or a tool that we can use in our future?
The AI.
When we graduate, it's going to be maybe 5-6 years from now when we start working. So that AI is going to be much more advanced by then. So will it be a threat to our career or will it be a tool for us?
It will replace some tasks, I would say, for sure. To be honest, some people say, it's not for me, but some people say that AI can replace the graduates. I think I would like to agree with that, but at some sense it's kind of true, not 100% true, but they can do a little bit of research, they can do a little bit of rendering. It's not going to be perfect, but yeah, I think for in the future, our career, I think we need to work hard because AI is already replaced some tasks, I would say, yeah. But just to add it up a little bit, in terms of communication, because our career, we have to talk to the client, we have to convince the client, talk to developer, talk to our boss, talk to our colleagues. You need talking skill, and I don't think AI would replace that soon, hopefully. Yeah. Am I talking like AI? No. No. Okay.
Okay, I have one question because we are like the only international landscape architecture program in Thailand, and we are not looking only in the Thailand industrial landscape practice, but we are looking for opportunities for students internationally. As I would say, landscape architecture is more like international languages as a global citizen. So what are you expecting from the future generations of young landscape architects? What are the competencies? What are the soft skills? What I should groom the student to be?
Mainly for Thai students going abroad or like order.
Overall,
Uh,
the one that I can help grooming them.
right, I
Students
see.
from Thailand, as a little bit Thai students.
Yeah, we have like international students here. So, what do you expect from us, like to help them to build the student competencies to working in Thai industry and internationally?
Yeah, I think we have to be different. Yeah, I think we have to think different. And yeah, I think competent is kind of something you have to be already. Like you have to be competent. And then, but trying to be something different, especially you mentioned about the AI. AI, if you don't pay premium, you get something similar, right? So try to be different a little bit and try to think a little bit beyond the boundary and be confident about what you are doing and double check about what you are doing, and yeah, just make sure everything is yeah, I don't know.
I'm afraid that I might be wrong and I'm being too confident.
Yeah, some people some people are too confident, and that's not always good. But just maybe I'm thinking about it too much for Thai people because we are doing good, but we have less confidence. But yes, you are right. Being too confident is not always good. That's why I like everyone to be kind of really, really double check and ask the question to yourself that are you really sure about what you are doing, and before you say things, and yeah. And if you want to go globally, then you have to make yourself stand out, so be different. I don't think I'm that different. But so I'm not doing that good. So basically, I'm trying to say, yeah. So be different. Yeah.
Yeah. So if doesn't have any questions, we will stop the sessions here. So thank you today for you guys to listen.พี่แป้ง and me to talk to her. So if you enjoy it, thank you very much ค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ